Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
I was muted. I apologize. I was muted. I hope all is well. I hope your Wednesday. Hope your Wednesday, your hump day is going well. Do me a favor, hit the like button, guys. Again, as you come to the chat room, the first thing you do, again, as you come into the chat room, the first thing you do is hit the like button. Again, the first thing you do is hit the like button. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much for rocking with me at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday. I appreciate it. It really means a lot. Shout out to Delina. Listen, Delina, we haven't had to pray for you in a while. Delina, we haven't had to pray for you in a while. But shout out to Delina in the chat room and Marie. And Marie, are you going to Salone next month? Marie, you going to Salone next month? Because we arrive on the 21st. We arrive on the 21st. We're leaving out of JFK on the 20th, and we arrive to Salone on the 21st is when we get there. If you are, let's grab some crane. We go grab some crane. If you're gonna be in town, I got a hole in the wall spot. I got a couple of hole in the wall spots, but I got a hole in the wall spot. No, I'm not going. You're not going next month. Okay, well, no crane for you, but I got a hole in the wall spot around the corner from the Radisson Blue. Hole in the wall, but the food is good. So yeah, but guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you share and subscribe. Well, Delina, when you come to Sierra Leone, you'll get a bowl. You'll get a plate. Again, Delina, when you come to Sierra Leone, you'll get a plate. You will get a plate when you come to Sierra Leone. Some crane. We got you. All right, guys, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com and make sure you buy the documentary. If you are watching this, again, if you are watching this and if you have not bought the documentary, y'all go and buy the documentary, okay? Go and buy the documentary. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com and cop the documentary. I will greatly appreciate it. Everyone who has bought the documentary, I appreciate Queen Prodigy. I need you to buy the documentary now. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna be a little pushy. I've been getting I'm gonna get it this weekend. Yo, I gotcha. I'm gonna get it on Friday. It's Wednesday, and y'all still ain't got it. So Queen Prodigy, I need you to go to searchforuhuru.com, click that link, and buy the documentary. It'll take you a minute to do it. It's live streamed. So what you'll do, you'll establish a login, and then whatever device, your phone, tablet. We're gonna get into that, Tulsi. We're gonna get into that. Shout out to Queen Prodigy for the super chat. I appreciate it. I bought it 3 times on accident, Delina. I appreciate you, Delina. Yo, shout out to Delina for buying a documentary 3 times. I don't know how you did that, but listen, we ain't mad. We appreciate your around your let's see, that would be $30.97. We appreciate that, Delina. No. Yeah, $30.97, Delina. No. $32. Whatever. We appreciate your money. I can't do my math right now because it's $10.99. We're gonna round it up. We appreciate your $33, Delina. We're just gonna round it up. We appreciate your $33, Delina. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So go and buy the documentary again. Go to and buy the documentary. I greatly appreciate it. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Link is in the chat room, and link is up on the screen. Again, link is in the chat room, and again, link is on the screen. There we go. Link is on the screen. Link is in the chat room. Go to searchforuhuru.com. You can go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Next, listen, y'all, we're rolling to Senegal. In May. We're rolling to Senegal in May for the jazz festival. Okay, we're rolling to Senegal in May for the jazz festival. So I need y'all to go to donfo.africa. Again, I need you to go visit donfo.africa. All right, and find out the details. We are running a promotion, early bird special promotion. Again, we're running an early bird special promotion for the tour. So deposit for the Senegal tour, it's just $250. Okay, again, it's just $250 for the deposit for the Senegal tour. Okay, so click on travel, then click on Senegal. You'll also see the other places we're traveling to, dates, locations, all that good stuff on there. So again, go to Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Again, go to Donfo, DANFO.Africa. All right, we'll open up the lines in about 30 minutes, but we'll go ahead and jump into the topic. And let me give this disclaimer. All right, listen, I don't judge. Listen, I respect everyone. No matter it be whether it's their, I don't agree with everything, but I respect everyone, whether it be their race, color, religion, sexuality, gender. You respect me, I respect you. Now, we don't have to agree on everything. All right. In order to have, I think Dave Chappelle said this, because the culture, I mean, not the culture, it's just the way just the way society in general is shifting. It's to the point where if you don't agree with somebody, it's like they want to cancel you. Again, if you don't agree with someone, they want to cancel you. And so my thing is, we don't have to agree on everything, but I still have compassion for you as long as we respect each other. As long as we can respect each other, I respect you, you respect me as a human being. It's all good. Again, I don't care color, race, sexuality, gender, religion, and like I said, that's what makes diversity so great. We don't have to agree with everything. Again, we don't have to agree with everything. But one thing I hate and can't stand is cancel culture. All right. And now, even if you don't agree with somebody on something and you say it in a respectful way, they want to cancel you now, which I don't support. I disagree with, and we got to get rid of that cancel culture. All right. So, with that being said, today's topic, and this is really towards Black men, Black women, Black parents. All right. If you saw the thumbnail, you saw Joe Biden and you saw a transgender, well, a biological man, all right, in that thumbnail. And when I'm dealing with Black folks and they deal with racism and how racist the Republican Party is, how racist the right is, an example that they bring up is CRT, critical race theory, which I don't agree with. Again, I don't agree with. You shouldn't revise history. But for some odd reason, when they bring up CRT, and then I counter or ask the question, well, do you believe in CGT, critical gender theory? Can a biological man be a woman, or can should a biological man who in his head for some reason thinks he's a woman, should they be allowed to play in female sports leagues? A lot of y'all don't have an answer for it. Or a lot of y'all try to shift the conversation and duck and evade and dance around the conversation. I'm like, hold on. Should a biological man be able to play in the same sports leagues as your daughter just because they identify in here as a woman? And a lot of y'all make all types of excuses. You dance around the question. And like I said, I respect everyone. All right. And I find it odd when it comes down to that, And then I have people come on here and say, well, Dynast, I don't agree with that. Or they, in fact, they really didn't even say they didn't agree with it. In fact, let me back up. They didn't say that they didn't mention or admit that they didn't agree with it, but they shifted to, well, what about Joe Biden's other policies? Case in point, student loan forgiveness. So I'm like, hold on. You can't give a yes or no on, transgender, I don't know, women, I don't know. You can't give an answer on biological men being able to play in the same sports leagues as your daughters. But you're cut clear and dry when it comes to CRT. Joe Biden said that was going to be his number one priority when it comes to, biological men playing in the same sports leagues as your daughters. But you don't have an answer for that. You ignore that, but you offer student loan forgiveness. So are we selling our daughters out in the name of student loan forgiveness out of respect? Are we selling? Not we. I didn't vote for the guy. So not me. Y'all. Are y'all selling your daughters out? Because Joe Biden, let me show you something. Hold on. Let me show you something. And this should be disturbing, what I'm about to show you guys. So this has to do with Title IX. And this is policy, okay? This is this is what he's trying to do. This is no pie in the sky, stuff that's not real. Like, this is real. Let's take a look at this. Arguments heard in Title IX lawsuit to ban transgender athletes. So right now, Joe Biden is trying to add transgender athletes to Title IX. What does that mean? Your daughter plays college sports and even high school sports, but your daughter plays softball, women's basketball, women's track. All right. They're going to allow men, biological men, to compete against your daughters. All right. They're trying to make it where they can compete against your daughters, period. That's what they're trying to do. All right. So we're going to read through this. And friend, it's not. Arguments heard in the Title IX lawsuit that banned transgender athletes. A federal appellate court today heard arguments on whether or not Title IX, the federal law that prohibits sex-based discrimination in schools, protects the rights of transgender student athletes. The case, Soule versus Connecticut Association of Schools, was brought by the Alliance Defending Freedom, ADF, a conservative Christian group that has been labeled an extremist group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, for supporting the recriminalization of sexual acts between LGBTQ adults. The plaintiffs in the case are 4 cisgender Connecticut women. What is a cisgender? See, we got too much going on. What's cisgender? I guess cisgender is regular women. I guess. Okay. Chelsea Mitchell, Ashley Nicoletti, Selena Soule, and Alana Smith, who competed in track and field in high school. They claim that allowing transgender women to compete against cisgender women put them at a competitive disadvantage, which violated their Title IX rights that state that schools must ensure equal athletic opportunity for members of both sexes. Listen, I'm to the point now. If you voted Democrat, because I think Connecticut is a blue state. Listen, if this is what okay, so cisgender is just if you're a man, a woman, you just a regular man and woman. That's cisgender. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Cisgender is normal. Okay. Man, woman, boy. Okay, gotcha. So I think Connecticut is a blue state. I'm like this, man. If you guys voted blue, voted for Biden, y'all need to eat this L. Let these biological men compete with these girls. This is what you guys voted for. Simple. This is what you guys voted for. Okay, so cisgender is like Latinx. Just some shit that liberals make up. Latinx, cisgender. Okay, the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU of Connecticut, argued on behalf of the 2 transgender women athletes named in the complaint, Andrea Yearwood and Terry Miller. Guys, and these are 2 Black men who identify as women. While the ADF argued that allowing transgender athletes to compete robbed the plaintiffs of opportunities to be champions and potentially earn college scholarships, the ACLU pointed out that the plaintiffs had, in fact, competed against Yearwood and Miller and won. It don't matter. It does not matter. Yearwood and Miller need to compete in male sports, period. They should not be competing with women, biological women. The plaintiffs argument is filled with hypotheticals about a dystopia where cisgender girls disappear from the podium. See, but they don't understand, like one day, and yeah, we need to thank FBA voted for Sleepy Joe. This is a FBA L. All right. FBA, Black folks in mass. Y'all bragged about saving the Democratic Party. This is what you guys voted for. This is sick. This is just completely weird. But what happens with this? Okay, so maybe Yearwood wasn't that competitive, the man, when competing with the women. But what it opens up the door for men who identify as women who are better than the women. It opens up the door for them to go compete with the women. If we start playing with this, I promise you it will change. Oh no, I said black people too, African immigrants as well, black people in general. Black people in general. This is what they voted for. You know, student loan forgiveness, and y'all was scared of the Proud Boys. You know, y'all was scared of the Proud Boys. You know, the Proud Boys. You know, Trump said there's good people on both sides. So this is who we gonna vote for, Biden. The plaintiff's argument is filled with hypotheticals about a dystopia where cisgender girls disappear from the podium, but the court must rely on facts, Joshua Block. Staff attorney for the ACLU's LGBTQ and HIV project said the facts are that these plaintiffs repeatedly outperformed Andrea and Terry and won an impressive collection of first place trophies in the process. Furthermore, according to the ACLU, all four of the plaintiffs have received college scholarships to run track, while Miller and Yearwood have not. The lawsuit was originally brought in April of last year. U.S. District Judge Robert Ciancini dismissed the case, ruling that since the plaintiffs had already graduated from high school, the issue was moot. It's not moot, though. It cannot be considered by the courts. Judge Ciancini also found that Connecticut's policies are in line with the federal law, stating that courts across the country have consistently held that Title IX requires schools to treat transgender students consistent with their gender identity. Despite the ruling, the case had a ripple effect throughout the country, with the lawsuit being cited by others who want to ban transgender women and girls from competing against cisgender women in sports. I agree, ban it. I agree, ban that ish. Ban it. The plaintiffs have testified before state legislators looking to pass laws banning transgender athletes from sports in Kansas and North Dakota in support of the policies. On the opposing side, the case has garnered the attention and support of over 150 professional female athletes and associations, including tennis icon Billie Jean King, Megan Rapinoe, Jasmine Thomas, Lashia Clarendon, the Women's National Basketball Players Association, and the Women's Sports Foundation. You know what? I just like, okay. It's like part of me, like, I don't support this at all. But then another part of me is like saying, I really want Joanna Man. Like, I want all the Joanna men to start competing with these women in professional sports and watch all this shit change. Watch them change their minds. Like, I really want Joanna Man to show up and start getting in these professional sports leagues. WNBA, women's soccer, women's tennis. Like, that's what I want. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't support it, but I just I don't understand how a woman, a biological woman, would support this. Like, it makes no sense. I don't understand why. I don't understand how a biological woman will want to support this. So part of me is like, look, let's get Joanna Man out there. Football, basketball. I'm not football, but I'm sorry, women's basketball, women's soccer, which is called football overseas. So women's football, women's soccer, women's basketball, women's golf, women's tennis. Let's get Joanna Man out there. In fact, listen, if I were a college coach for a women's basketball team, you know what? You might, if they make this legal, they make this part of Title IX, you might as well just start recruiting a bunch of Joanna men. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why any woman would support this. There's enough room on the victory podium for transgender girls too. Oh, you're not a. Oh, Block said under Title IX, all girls, including transgender girls, should be able to participate fully and equally in athletics in accordance with who they are. Like, you said, Dinus, apply for some grants as a woman and finesse the system. No, I can't do it, man. And what kills me, when I ask black men how do they feel about stuff like this, they completely dance around the question and don't answer it. But I'm to the point now, listen, man. I'm to the point that if you're black and you voted left, let the Joanna men come and play in all these black girl softball leagues, basketball team. Let them come play. This is just embarrassing. This is what we're saving. And so-called black intellectual black men who are against CRT, critical race theory. Y'all have nothing to say about this. And Biden is all on board. Like Biden is like, listen, we got to make this happen. Biden is like, listen, we got to make this happen. NPR. Let me read. Biden's Title IX reforms will roll back Trump-era rules, expand victim protections. The Department of Education said Thursday that it plans to reinstate Title IX regulations tossed out by the Trump administration. Man, listen. Oh, God damn. Lord. Trump was trying to help y'all out. Black women, Trump was trying to help you guys out. Proposed changes will combat sexual discrimination in schools by boosting victim protections and modifying language to include sexual orientation and gender identity for LGBTQI plus students. Thursday marked the 50th anniversary of the Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972, more commonly known as Title IX, which protects students from sexual discrimination in educational programs and activities. To commemorate the occasion, President Biden and the Department of Education announced proposed amendments to the legislation that would reinstate victim protections that were rolled back by President Donald Trump. Man, Trump 2024. Man, I hope Trump runs in 2024. Over the last 50 years, our nation has made monumental progress in advancing equity and equality for all students, including by narrowing gender gaps in sports, expanding opportunities in science and technology fields, and protecting students from sex discrimination, including sex-based harassment and sexual violence. This is what Biden said in the White House statement. This is what America is all about. Possibilities. Millions of women and girls have benefited from the change that Title IX helped make possible, he added. What changes are in the proposed amendments? The Department of Education said the amendments will include clarifying text to include protections against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity to strengthen the rights of LGBTQI plus students. Here we go right here. They would make clear that preventing someone from participating in school programs and activities consistent with their gender identity will cause harm in violation of Title IX, except in some limited areas set out in the statute of regulation. So here we go. This is all you need to hear. They would make clear that preventing someone from participating in school programs and activities, which are sports, The department also said it plans to issue separate notice of proposed rulemaking to address whether and how the agency would amend the Title IX regulations to address students' eligibility to participate on a particular male or female athletics team. That's all we need to see here. That's all we need to see. I mean, this is crazy. Why any black man or black parent will vote for this party? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like when I read this right here, I was just like, yeah, give them what they voted for. Let Joanna Man play with these women. This is what you guys voted for. Let me read. I want to read this part again. The department also said it plans to issue a separate notice of proposed rulemaking to address whether and how the agency should amend the Title IX regulations to address students' eligibility to participate on a particular male or female athletics team. But see that this is the disingenuous part. Like women can play on the male sports teams already. Like there's really no Title IX protection. There's Title IX protection, but for the most part, if a woman is good enough, like I remember when I was in high school, there was a girl who played football, tackle like on the high school team. And it was just like, okay, we thought it was cool. I mean, nobody really cared. If she can compete, she's good enough. Why not? Put some pads on her. But I'm telling you, the other way around, having a female, a biological man playing on the softball team, on the women's soccer team, the women's basketball team. They're already doing that. This means boys in the girls' locker room. They're already doing that. That's already happening. But this is what y'all voted for. All because Trump said mean things on Twitter. All because of the Proud Boys. All because, we're going to get some student loan forgiveness. This is what you guys voted for. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. If you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Again, if you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. All right. Listen, I'm going to put the link in the chat room. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat room. If you want to call in, please call in. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. Listen, if you have not bought the documentary, guys, let me give you guys a reminder. I need everyone who is watching this, go and buy the documentary. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia. Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynasty Amir, I'm out.
All right, links in the chat room. If you're gonna call in and add to the conversation, link is in the chat room. Again, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, link is in the chat room. And again, link is in the chat room if you want to call in and add a conversation. Again, please hit the like button and also make sure you go and join. I'm sorry, make sure you go and buy the documentary. So, if you guys want to call in, we'll close. If you guys are going to call in, we'll go ahead and start closing out. If you guys aren't going to call in, yeah, I agree. It's the boogeyman. You know, I mean, black folks in the Democratic Party have already excluded themselves anyway. You know, they don't want nothing. So here we go, Marie. Go ahead, Marie.
Hey, to answer the question, I think they did. I think black people did sell us out, sell their daughters out for student loans because I have student loans, but I'd rather have my student loans than deal with all this stuff that's going on where, you know, men have to play, well, transgender men playing in women's sports and then women just getting knocked out and having to be in the hospital to be in a concussion or having a coma. So I'd rather have my student loans than to deal with all this because it's just a lot that's going on in this world, like when Joe Biden became the president. So but that's
Yeah,
just what I have to.
no problem. I appreciate it. You say you're going to Salone in December?
I plan to go in December. Yeah.
How long you gonna be there for?
Well, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks. I was gonna stay for a month, but I just got to come back and work. So,
Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Well, anything
Okay.
else you want to add?
No, nope.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a good day.
Okay. All right, bye-bye. All right, guys. Link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. Link is in the chat room. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on one second. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I think it's it feels like such a violation, even the idea of men being in Title IX. I think where we are in society, American society is creating a superior class of people, an elite class, a class of people who can do anything and get away with anything, and you can't speak about them. And I noticed that we're doing this now, and I know it's because we understand where power lies. Where when we're having this conversation, everybody has to preface it, well, I love everybody, and we don't do that with anyone else. You know what I mean? But it's a subconscious understanding of where the country is going and who has power and who doesn't. The actual trans community is 0.001%. There are about 1 million people in the United States out of 370 million who consider themselves transgender. So it's more than them. It's the people behind them who have power, who are changing society as they see fit. Climate change plays into it. Even, everybody's a victim plays into it. Um, the abortion, this heavy, like shameless kind of like abortion, abort the babies, the population control, vaccines. I believe it all plays into, what Carl Schwab, who is the head of the World Economic Forum, said. This is a great opportunity for a world reset. Right? The Great Reset, that's what he called it. They had forums at the World Economic Forum about the Great Reset and what that means and what that looks like. And all of this plays into, he even wrote a book about it, right? It's not a conspiracy theory. All of this plays into that. But I think we have to, I'm not going to call myself a cis, because a cyst is something you can have on your ovaries, right? A cyst is toxic. For people who has said they don't want to be labeled, how dare you think you can come and label the rest of society? But people who feel like they can name things, that's a form of power and ownership. You don't have power over me, you don't have ownership over me. And I will never call a man a she. You want to say call yourself transgender? I'm not going to call you a trans woman, a trans man, because you're the figment of your imagination, and your psychosis does not play into, I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you have things going on, may God be with you. But I am sane, and I'm going to stay sane. And I think we need to push back against that. And I personally feel like what opened the door to it is feminism, because feminists, hardcore feminists, were saying men and women are equal, and we're not equal. And I think the only way to really break down this new, society they're trying to present is to get rid of feminism, right? And go back to really more so of a patriarchal system with some modifications. That's just how I feel about it. But it's disgusting to me. I'm sorry to be blunt, but it's the violation as a woman. It's disrespectful to me, to my grandmother, to my mother, to the women who came before me, to the women. All I know, one thing I can say, we all women, we go through the same things. I can talk about motherhood, I can talk about pregnancy, I can talk about our bodies, what happens at different stages, because that's one thing that unifies us all as women. And no person and the figment of their imagination replaces that. You earn womanhood. You don't get the badge. You don't get to fall, come in the front of the line. You earn womanhood. Your doctor cannot give it to you. It's earned biologically and through experience. That's all I have to say.
Appreciate it. Queen Prodigy, go ahead.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity and coming together, and especially for you creating a safe space for, Black people to have discussions like this. I think that with my upbringing, I come from a Jamaican household, so things are pretty traditional, very Christian, straightforward type of culture, as most people know. But coming into an American society and being raised in an American society, there's a lot of influence that comes from the programming pertaining to television, pertaining to our music, pertaining to a lot of our education. For instance, the influence of our education, the influence of these different things has basically molded the society that we see today. And it's reinforced through consumerism with the support of these idealisms that have been influenced towards, towards our children. Let's just be for real. It's towards our children. I think that when we have situations to where people identify as, transgender, this situation, to me, I see it in different ways. You come from a standpoint, Amir, to where you stated, I respect all people, I respect, who they are as a person, etc. But there are levels of boundaries that need to be set as
Right.
well.
Right.
And those boundaries need to kind of stay in premise to the laws of nature. We can't change that. That's something that's just going to be how it is, forever. When we have children and our children have children, everything is what it is. When we see a dog does not say, hey, I feel like a human and you should treat me like a human and teach me how to drive. How are we going to teach you how to drive if you ain't got no hands? Like that, it's just little situations to that effect. And how far will it go? And I understand that, the aspects of feminism and everything like that being the influence, but I feel that there are situations to where I feel like people need to consider the fact that even if you're pushing completely conservative or completely left, there's always an absence of the voice of a female or a woman being able to take on, the responsibility of speaking up for herself or her own community. And that seems to be, continuously suppressed within a patriarchal society, let alone a Black woman, a woman of color. So I think that it's important that Black women kind of hone certain things together and have a voice, regardless of what you believe or what you stand for, and just to show that we have some presence here, because a lot of people are basically just kind of moving beyond, how we feel at the end of the day. And I just hope that, things can kind of make a progression and turnaround for the Black community, because there seems to be this divide and conquer aspect of basically creating extra dysphoria, or separating the Black man and making him run off with whomever he chooses, but everything but the Black woman, basically. And I hope that we can try to figure out a way to rebuild the situation, because it's continuing to go down a path that seems surreal, basically.
I appreciate it. Mexiconder, go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make a couple comments about the logical inconsistencies of the trans movement and people on the left in general. One of the mantras they love to shout is, down with patriarchy. What's more patriarchal than taking away from women the right to even have a word that defines them? I mean, that's the ultimate dehumanization. That they don't even get to have a label that describes who they are. I mean, that takes away all their personhood. So the other thing I wanted to interject about was the social contagion that's happening in schools with young women. That's I've discussed this matter with my friends who are in education, and there's definitely something happening socially on a broad scale. A lot of young women, I think, this is my hypothesis, they see how seemingly privileged and cool and the lives of young gay men are, and they want to emulate that, and they all decide together that they're actually men. And they start taking hormones, and there are some severe consequences when you try to try to contradict what nature is. For example, testosterone, it causes tissues to grow, including cancer. So and if you were, we know that men in general live about 10 years less than women. So what are the consequences long term of women injecting testosterone into their bodies? It may in fact be even worse than that. And frankly, not every woman is going to make an attractive man. You're going to have hair loss. You're going to have a pot belly. Are you prepared for that? I mean, are you prepared for the fact that other women are going to find you repulsive and not going to have, and you're not going to be part of the sisterhood? So I just wanted to throw that out there for anyone who might be second guessing their identity right now. Just wanted to throw that out there and try to get them, to think about where they really should be in as far as nature is concerned.
Yes, sir. Gas them up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dennis, what do you think about population control? This is my first question to you, real quick.
Do you think it's real? Like, you think it's not a conspiracy theory? You think it is they're actually trying to implement that?
I think it. Listen, look, particularly if you look at Black people. I just saw a show on Netflix. There was this, like I told you, Dennis, this is how they come in, and they're using South Africa. There was a show on Netflix. I didn't watch it. It's about this African girl. She goes back home to her town, and the parents are expecting her to be married, but her true love is a woman. And again, I have no beef with anybody, but this is how they're slowly injecting this discourse into Africa, right? And I've always said it. It's always these, United Nations, granola eating New York Times Africans that you run into in the U.S. that bring this stuff back to Africa. And in particular, with the topic about these women and whatever agenda, I just find it interesting that they always find a way to piggyback off of, Mama Africa or Big Ma, right? So if you want to sell anything to Black people, just use a Black woman, whether you're in Africa or America, right? You just get some Big Ma character, or she means well, she's strong, right? She knows how to suffer and all this other nonsense. And it's just like, I'll be honest, I don't really think this is Black men's fight. I think Black women have to figure out a way to say, we want to be married, we want husbands, we want to work with our husbands, and these, arrangements don't fit our discourse or our image of ourselves. And until Black women can say that, I think we're just, to me, wasting time. And I'll be honest, I don't think they will say that, because a lot of times you get perks by going along with the state. The state gives you perks, whether it's affirmative action in terms of hiring practices, or it's all these you hear that more Black women are in college narrative, so they'll give you financial aid or affirmative action. So I mean, what do you think about that? Because I think it's population control. Like Christy was saying, it's a small percentage of the people, yet they're piggybacking on Black women. When are Black women going to speak out and say, we don't want this?
Well, Black, I'll let Queen Prodigy answer, because she's a Black woman. But, the Democratic Party has Black women. Like, listen, I'm going to play this video. So did you watch the debate yesterday between Fetterman and Dr. Oz?
No, I didn't get to see it. You don't send it to me next time. Send it to me. I didn't see it.
So Fetterman is unfit to run. The guy just had a stroke, right? He shouldn't. It was bad. It was embarrassing last night. So they were doing the reactions to the debate, and it's just like, anybody with sense knows that this guy should not be. I don't care how you feel about the Republican Party or whatnot. It should be like, this guy should not he shouldn't have even been up on that stage or even running. Like, the Democratic Party should say, you know what, you had a stroke. Let's bring somebody else in. Right. I mean, it was really that bad, gassed him up. It was, in fact, I felt sorry for the guy. Like, it was really that bad. So after the debate, they were doing, interviewing people, getting their reaction. Here comes this sister, God bless her. They first asked the white woman. The white woman gives her points, starts talking about policy, straight policy, straight answer. I'm voting for Dr. Oz. And she literally laid out her case. Here comes the sister. Gas them up. I kid you not. This is what she said, gas them up. I love my sisters. I love y'all. But damn, oh my goodness. I love y'all. But this is so embarrassing, gas them up. She literally said, I understand Fetterman had a stroke, but my grandma had 2 strokes, and she makes real good macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
In
but
fact,
again,
but
listen.
Gassima, let me. In fact, I gotta play it for you guys.
Yeah, no, please play it because I want to see it. But my thing is, black women have to start because look, I say it all the time. If you are at a barbershop and a black man comes in a barbershop and says, "Yeah, man, I beat my kids and I smacked my wife because the chicken was cold," he might get beat up in that barbershop, right? Like dudes ain't gonna be like, "You beat on your kids because the chicken was cold." But black women will hear nonsense from other black women and y'all not checking it. Whatever happened to the old women's societies? Because when I was growing up, my grandma had the women's societies. And if another woman was out of order, the women called her to order. Why are black women not calling each other to order? Like I'm tired of them, just sitting down there, just being passive recipients of whatever the state can hand them or whatever black men can hand them. Like, let them call each other to order. Like that lady, when she said that nonsense, it should have been 100 black women.
Let me play. I'm about to play it right now. Let me. I was just. I mean, it's like what? It's just. It was so embarrassing. Like sisters, I know the Democratic Party ain't got y'all like and changed like this. Like, hold on. I'm about to. Here we go right now.
The real people who are going to be voting in Philadelphia. We have Republican, Democrat, and Independent, all of whom were undecided before this debate, and they're very happy with themselves. And I am happy to have them here. Let's start with Juliana. Juliana, do you hear me?
Hi, my name is Juliana. I am a conservative undergraduate student, and I previously came into this very undecided due to the issue of abortion rights. A major concern for me is the sanctity of human life, and I do believe that conception starts at or that life starts at conception. I do also want the least amount of government federal intervention in our public and private affairs as possible. But I also do believe that Oz is not mitigating the rights or beliefs of either side based on his opinion in the debate. So I believe that if people want to have the right to choose, I think that should apply to every opinion, regardless of if they agree with it or if they do not agree with it.
So who are you voting
Thank
for?
I'm voting for Oz.
Okay, and does it bother you, Juliana, just a quick follow, and then we'll go to somebody else. Does it bother you that he's changed his opinion? Yeah. That when he first started talking about reproductive rights, he talked about all the horrible outcomes that he had seen and how important it is that women have access to care and to be able to make these choices, and that as he's become more political, he's moved farther and farther to the right with where he is now. Does that bother you or make you question the integrity of the position?
Honestly, it does not bother me. I think that everyone should be able to shift their opinion as new knowledge comes out and as they listen to other people. I mean, I've listened to both perspectives and I agree with both of them to an extent. So, it's a difficult decision either way. And, as a politician, of course, that's going to happen. But no, I do believe that as information comes out, he should be able to and probably should shift his opinion. Thank you.
Good argument. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a human way. It is. It really is.
Next voter is Naja. Naja, can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
How you doing?
So
Tell me about yourself.
And I'm a Democrat. I'm a mom of 3. I have a podcast, and yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, what do you think now after the debate?
I'm definitely erring on the side of Fetterman. I thought it was really brave of him to come out there dealing with what he's dealing with. My grandma had 2 strokes, and she can still make amazing mac and cheese. I think it's important that we see people in their human state. That is the human way, is to have struggle, make amazing mac and cheese. I thought it was really brave. I'm definitely erring on the side of Fetterman. I thought it was really brave of him to come out there dealing with what he's dealing with. My grandma had 2 strokes, and she can still make amazing mac and cheese. I think it's important that we see people in their human state.
What do you think now after the debate? I'm
definitely erring on the side of Fetterman. I thought it was really brave of him to come out there dealing with what he's dealing with. My grandma had 2 strokes, and she can still make amazing mac and cheese. I think it's important that we see people in their human state. That is the human way, is to have struggles, your own struggles. So I really felt what he was going through, and I felt like that was probably the best choice for me.
So you believe what is in his head and in his heart is intact, and the way he was speaking is just a function of what he's dealing with, and that's acceptable to you?
Oh, yes, because there's therapy, lots of it.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider.
Yeah, I seen it, man. She said, notice she said she's a mom of 3, not a wife. No disrespect, right? I don't know her situation. Maybe he ran off, right? But she didn't say she's a wife. Notice how the white girl, unfortunately, even though I don't agree per se, I'm not Republican or Democrat, but the white girl articulated her points in terms of something that's more cohesive and as a voting bloc, way better and more articulate than the black girl. And it's just like, but this is who they pick. Right, it's like these quasi, I'm sorry to say, Aunt Jemima types, and she thinks she's saying something that's really, really profound, and she's saying absolutely nothing, But my question is, when a black woman gonna call her out and say, "Yo, go to the back, you don't represent us"?
I was, when I heard that, I was just, and you notice, I think somebody said something to her, and she turned around and responded to him, because they were just shocked. Like, are you? Gaston, you gotta watch the debate. This dude, like, he's like, just his health. Like, I felt so sorry for the guy. He should not even been on
Is Joe Biden is shaking hands with people that's not there.
This was worse. Gassed him up. This was worse. And just hearing black folks who are like, well, he showed great perseverance, his human side. I'm like, this dude needs to sit home and heal. Like, something's wrong with him. He needs to sit home, get his rest, and heal. And it's just like mac and cheese, your grandma with 2 strokes. No policy or nothing, but mac and cheese.
Of course not. But black people, for the most part, have black people ever voted on policy, or they voted on sentiment? And what other than mac and cheese is a great sentiment to get black people to vote on?
The cha-cha slide.
Of course, or but this is what I'm saying. It's like, as a black man, I don't want to address her, because then it's all you're patriarchal, you're abusing women. It's like, all right, cool, I'm not going to address her. Where are the sisters like the Francis Cress Welsing of the world to get at her?
Stop the show. How can we put being in the Senate, okay, playing a pivotal role in running this country, to making damn mac and cheese in the kitchen somewhere? How can we even compare the two, people who are defending this stuff? How can we compare playing a role? I love mac and cheese. I do love mac and cheese. But how can we compare playing a pivotal role in running the country and making decisions on your guys' in regards to your guys' everyday lives versus making macaroni and cheese in the kitchen? I mean, come on now. Queen Prodigy, go ahead.
Yeah, so having that discussion, I mean, I kind of find the news to be quite interesting whenever it comes down to specific votes, narratives, different things like that. It looked like she was the only, I mean, maybe there were other Black people there, but it looked like she might have been the only one there, surrounded by a lot of, Caucasians. But I find that to be a deflective point on her part. It's supposed to be about, policies, what's going on. Maybe people were kind of joking about the situation given the fact of this person's health, and maybe she was trying to, defend the person because she's, a Democrat naturally. And Democrats just, some of them just kind of support whatever is being thrown at them. But I feel like the issue that I'm having with politics is there needs to be something that's clear and concise and, straight to the point. sometimes when we're dealing with media, we don't get to see the full grasp or the full truth. And how is it that there's so much expectation on Black women, forgive me, to basically be in this position of saying, hey, yeah, we want to be married. Yeah, we want children. Yeah, we want these things. But these Black men are on Pornhub looking at Becky. So what advantage does that give me?
Well,
Anyway.
how did the conversation shift from that to Black men's fault? All of a sudden with the
No,
Black men's
because it's about desire. It's about desire and what people want. So if we're talking about the desires and what people want and who's controlling the media and providing those desires on how Black women should act or look or have, like, you know, a certain shape or get a BBL or whatever it is and be on Instagram, and then, you know, you know, there are good Black women out there. Most of them are probably off of social media, to be honest, because this is what, you know, is being told that we need to look in order to attract a Black man instead of our intelligence.
Dennis, I want to respond when she's done.
Go ahead, gas them up.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not cutting her off because, you know, I don't want them to accuse me of patriarchy. But listen, Dynast, I sent you and Philip the email a while ago. I sent it to a couple of people. Newsflash, people, it's a myth. In reality, if you look at the numbers based on the statistics, the births, more Black women are actually stepping out than Black men in the United States. More Black women have children by non-Black men than Black men. So in terms of interracial anything, it's actually more Black women. I can send you the proof. I've sent it to Dynast. I've sent it to Philip. He's in the chat. I sent it to Kala. I don't know if he's in the chat. I believe I sent it to Brandon. So if you want the proof, gas them up at gmail.com. The most current birth statistics, because I think Black men gave birth to a certain amount, Black women gave birth to a certain amount, and so Black women gave birth to more children than Black men. So the excess number of children that they gave birth to would mean that they were stepping out more. So, sister, I wasn't saying anything about blaming Black women and Pornhub or anything like that. What I'm saying is this: when Black women see that type of representation, you guys need to be up in arms. You need to remove her, whether she's Democrat or not, because you can be a Democrat and eloquently express yourself a lot better than she did. And the fact that Cardi B was interviewed by Bernie Sanders just shows how the establishment looks.
Joe
Biden, sorry. No, but I think, who did Bernie Sanders meet? I think he met with Cardi B or somebody too. But the fact is that, yeah, one of them. But the fact is that the establishment really doesn't consider you guys as anything. They don't consider Black men either, but they use Black women. So what I'm saying, sister, is that Black women who, like yourself, who are saying that you do want Black men and you want the Black family, whatever organization, whatever sisterhood, I can't talk on it because, you know, in my culture, we don't speak for women, we speak of women. You guys got to put in that legwork. Where are the Fannie Lou Hamers of the world? Where are the Francis Cress Welsings? Right? Where are they? Where are the Ida B. Well Barnetts? Let them come back to life and remove all this nonsense that you girls see and you ladies see, so you guys can be properly represented. And us Black men got to do our part to police what Black men are doing. But we can't police Black women. So it's up to you guys to hold them to task. Does that make sense?
Yes, most definitely. I completely understand that. And it wasn't to say that, you know, oh, I felt attacked or anything like that. It's difficult attempting to get an even footing in this society. And I'm thinking about the stats that you were pointing out earlier, talking about there are more Black women that are basically dating outside of their race. And here's the funny thing. If we're looking at the pay rate system, just comparing, you know, the certain people, men, women, whomever, that will get paid more depending upon their race and their ethnicity, you know, or just their gender, excuse me. It's a situation to where I'm wondering if that's how certain Black women think that their offspring are going to be able to get ahead. Not to say that there aren't wealthy Black men out there or whatever the situation may be, but I do feel like if you're looking at the demographics of how like the 60s and 70s were, there were a lot of Black couples that were still, you know, Black and proud and strong and Black and proud and everything. Now we're looking in a situation to where, you know, if you have like a certain preference and you decide that, you know, I prefer to be with a Black man or I prefer to be with a Black woman, and you stick to that, they might try to straight up Kanye West you because you won't date outside of your race. Like I've seen it's happen to me because I've had a particular preference. And it's nothing to do with anyone else or trying to be biased or anything. It's just I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. So my thing is, it's like I would love to be a part of certain sisterhoods and things like that, but I have to question certain sororities and certain lodges and things like that too, because I don't know what people be getting into. So it kind of puts me in the disposition as as I already am as a Black female in this world, trying to figure out where do I fit in. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that I think there was a comment said earlier saying that basically Black women, just follow the gays. I think that was Mexican. I can't remember his full name. Forgive me. But the other commenter that was on this feed. And funny enough, if you're looking at Medea and all these different things, they're emulating Black women. They take everything, from Black women and then just over exacerbate it, or take specific culture from Black people, rock and roll, etc., so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, we're no longer a part of it. We look at Washington, D.C., and white people probably look at Washington, D.C. and say, oh my gosh, it's so white and perfect and beautiful, but not knowing that Black hands were the ones that built Washington, D.C. So it's difficult I'm trying to have a voice. I would love to have a voice. But if someone or a Black man is not in my corner saying, I agree with her, it's difficult.
But men like Dynast, but men like Dynast, men like Brandon, Pan-Africanism Strikes Back, men like College Genesis, men like Two Niger, they're already out there, sister. So I'm not dismissing you to say perhaps on the mainstream they don't exist, but they're out there and they do scream loud and they're fighting hard for Black women and Black men to be married. But what I'm saying is that, look, at the end of the day, what that lady did, as silly as it is, cannot be addressed by Black men, right? It has to be addressed by Black women. And then to the point about who's dating who and who's having children, again, the report, Pardon the Noise, it's called by Gladys Martinez. It's a report that came out for this population stats for 2011 and 2015, the National Health Statistics, right? July 2nd. The fertility of men and women aged 15 to 44 in the United States, the National Survey of Family Growth. So you guys can Google that. If you want the actual report, you can email me, gasthemup@gmail.com. I'll send it to you. It shows there that there are more Black women who are having babies outside of Black men than Black men are having babies outside of Black women. It's there. The reports show it. So the media may tell us one thing, that it's Black men who are just lusting after white women and all this other stuff. But the actual number of people who are having interracial babies, it's actually Black women, not Black men. So, like I said, it's not in the, and there are Black men. I'm going to say their names again. You got Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. You got Dynast. There's so many Black men who are championing Black women. Heck, I'll even say Derek Jackson. Right? Dynast, you might laugh at that. But, there's so many Black men who are out there championing Black women, sister. There's a whole bunch of them. But this is about Black women checking other Black women. And I find it funny that you guys just don't want to do that. Or when I bring it up, you guys give me everything else as to not doing that. Why is that so hard? I guess that's my question to you. Why is it so hard for Black women to check other Black women? Because like I said again, if I went into a barbershop and I said, I beat my kids and I smacked my wife because the chicken was cold or the mac and cheese was salty, I might get punched in my face. I'm being real. Black men are not going to just be like, yeah, you whooped the ass because the mac and cheese was nasty. High five, my nigga. Nope, nobody's going to do that. Dynast, you think any Black man's going to do that at the barbershop? Like, yo,
Nah, but let her answer the question. I'll gas him up.
Yeah, so go ahead, sister.
I mean, this is a prime example. I mean, I can only give examples from my personal experience. I can't speak for every Black woman out there because all Black women are not the same. We're just, some of us are just not the same. I'm very much an activist. I'm very much into, social justice, different things like that. I'm very much into like speaking up about certain things and being a voice and being a bit different than the, I guess you could say, the norm, or whatever is being popularized in society. So for instance, if I am speaking out against, a situation to where there's been, a level of injustice for a young rapper, for instance, and something happens to this person, and then I'm calling out his mother about how the way that she's just basically running the streets and neglecting her child, and this results in, in his choices in life. I can do that and call her out, but you have to understand that other people that have probably done the same thing or probably are just like, oh, you're just being mean, or you're just being this, or, being that, or you're crazy, or you're this, or you're that. They'll do whatever they can to, I guess you could say, to try to bypass your point of view, or to say that you're just not financially on our level because we've been thoughting for years to get to where we are. So it's like I said, I can only do so much as one person. I mean, I think that it has to be a cultural shift. I think there has to be more women that are willing to communicate with each other, to be able to have these discussions with each other. I just kind of feel like there's too much competitiveness amongst Black women, and that's what creates this level of, okay, I'm gonna just do me over here while you do you over there. You know what I mean? So it's difficult to try to break that barrier when you're trying to come in peace and try to help your sister or help somebody else out, but they looking at you because you got long hair and you light skin or whatever it may be, to try to, typecast you out of their realm, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I mean, but I think that's the fight because, like I said, Dynasty and Brandon and Collar, they come on here, Professor Lumumba, they come on here and they go after the Pookies and the Ray Rays. They don't throw them under the bus, but they call them out for negative behavior. Dynasty did a whole show on, was it Shaka Zulu, right? The guy got shot in the, what is it, Buckhead, whatever part of Atlanta,
Right.
and Dynasty did a whole show calling out bad behavior. Excuse me. So, sister, there's Black men are doing that part of the work. It might not be as large as everybody wants, but they're out here doing it. So I hope, you can find the energy to get Black women to start calling out these Black sisters who make y'all look bad and throw them away. Because, if we can call out our Pookies and Ray Rays, y'all need to call out the Glorrillas and the Meg the Stallions.
You make a very fair point. Definitely. 110%. And I think that's something I would probably love to do. I'm just going to say that I've already, I've shaken a lot of things in the industry, and they've done everything that they can to basically slow my channel down or even get me any type of exposure, because I'm highly intuitive and very spiritual and very much connected to ancestors. So my thing is, like I said, we're in this pillar. Unfortunately, maybe some people see it, maybe some people don't. It depends on where you live, or it depends on what you're going through. But sometimes when it comes to having a voice in this culture, the Black woman is placed at the bottom of the totem pole. But when I was doing a lot of research and understanding who I am, and going through that process of history and understanding the matriarchal society that Black women used to run within kingdoms that flourished for generations, I understood more about me being connected to the earth 99.8% more than anybody else on the planet, but my voice is being silenced. Why?
Because black women ran kingdoms but won't run a social media platform. That's why. I just want to say this. Do you ever notice that when it comes to change, Some people only look at change from a macro perspective, right? They'll be like, we got to do this and we got to change that. We got to do whatever. But you never hear these people talk about them making a individual change. And that's what people just really don't understand, is that the entire culture, the our entire like race, I guess, it's got to be, preserved through individual change, individual adjustments, and individuals conforming to a way of thinking that is progressive for the whole, right? So I like to hear people talk about, themselves. What do I need to do? What am I going to stop tolerating? What things am I doing that perpetuate the dysfunction I speak against? You know, what that I need to change, to make everything better. Like me and Dynas, you're one of these people too. I know you just hit that point where you're like, I'm no longer about to entertain the hypocritical bullshit. I'm not going to sit on the internet and listen to black people blame white people, blame a blade of grass. You know what I'm saying? They blame anything they can. The dog sitting over in the corner, Mercury retrograde, right? For the dysfunctional shit that they do individually that sinks us as a whole. And this is not an attack at anybody. This is in general from listening to the whole conversation. But everybody has to understand that it's going to take individual changes to make all this stuff work, to make everything come together, And the problem with our community is when you try to make a change as an individual that is good for the community, right? You get attacked. Look at Kanye West. This guy's getting attacked. He's crazy. He's that. I said, look, I don't care what you can find bad in everybody, but I'm gonna look at the changes the person's making for the good before I start to judge that person. I listened to a clip of Kanye saying, yo, I have a tech company. I didn't even know he had a tech company. And he was like, my tech company execs were telling him that they couldn't, no one will work for him. They couldn't find anybody to work for his company because of the statements he made about Jewish people. Kanye was like, yo, how many openings do we need? They were like, we got 60 positions that need to be filled. They said, he said, you mean to tell me we can't find 60 black engineers to work for my tech company? And they just were like, well, we didn't even they didn't even go towards just the black community. They probably didn't go towards the black community at all. And Kanye West said he had to check himself because he was the owner of a company that wasn't even making hiring black people a priority. I see growth in things like that when people make those types of observations and talk about how they had to check themselves, right? That's when somebody is on the path to progress, self-improvement, when they start internalizing their criticisms. When you see somebody talking about the community and the white man and all this shit, I'm just looking at that person like, let me look at the things I can see from the outside about this person that's probably fucking up our whole community. So a lot of us just need to change our attitudes, the negative aspects of our attitude. We need to, get our mental health in order, physical health, me being one of those people. I need to lose weight with my fat butt. And a lot of the things that we experience will change for the better. And I think that's the first step. Internalizing the change stuff. Hey, Brandon, I want to ask you a question. You and Dynas a question real quick. Did you guys see in the chat somebody wrote that they love Glorilla? I don't want to say the person's name. They love Glorilla's FNF. It is an anthem. And that Meg Thee Stallion is, what did they say? Meg Thee Stallion is good or something like that. So how do you address people like that who are telling you openly that they love that type of stuff?
They can, if they love it, they look, there's like a Degenerate shit I like. Like I like Sugar Free the rapper. You know what I'm saying? I like his music. I am thoroughly entertained by it, right? We gotta make one thing clear. Music ain't making nobody do nothing. Because there's a lot of positive songs out there, and people don't listen to those songs and say, I'm just going to go out and do something positive. There's negative songs. People, you can listen to a song about killing. That don't mean you got to go kill.
people use music as a scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? I watched a lot of Rambo, First Blood, Predator, Arnold, killing people, chopping people. Like, people go watch murder movies about serial killers. Do they go out and commit serial murder? No. So I just think all that stuff, blaming it on the media, the devil made me do it type crap, that's all just an excuse. So if they like Glorilla, right, go find the positive aspects of Glorilla. That chick, you know, I'm sure she worked very hard, shaking her ass, her stinking ass in honor of Russell Smart to get to where she got. So why don't you work as hard as her in a direction of something positive, or for anything you want? Maybe you just want to be a hoe on the corner. Well, be the best hoe on the corner. Okay, go get the best outfit. I just need black people to start trying to be at the lead, at the top. I need black people to stop to try to be at the top of some shit instead of just bringing up the rear end of everything and then complaining about the white man was holding me back, you know?
Well, if I can interject really quick, because I, it's not to make an excuse or anything. This is personal experiences that I've gone through. So basically, as I said before, I'm I'm a psychic, or I'm an empath, a medium. Certain people will judge that. I have created a platform for myself. I have, put my content out there. I've proven myself numerous times, even people that are of my background. Jamaican culture will try to slander my name and say that I'm fake, and then a documentary will come out and everything that I said was real. But will turn around and use gang stalking and use the KKK and use skinheads to try to come for me because I'm so aware. So I've been through it. This is a real situation. I've been alkaline. So it's not a matter of, me knowing or being aware of how to be healthy, how to live healthy, how to function as a healthy person. I've just seen it within my own community and within my own family of people turning against me out of jealousy, out of, just out of, I don't know what it is. But
Can I tell you what it is? I tell you what it is. I know what it is. You make a lot of arguments from authority. And if you know what an argument from authority is, you'll understand that that's one of the number one ways to alienate people, lose friends, and basically polarize people against you. When you lead with, I'm an empath, I'm a psychic, what you're telling people is, I have a superior understanding of this situation than you do. So here's why I can't get what I want because of this A, B, C, D. Here's the reality. If you had a superior understanding, if you were a psychic, you would be able to telekinesize yourself to success because you can see and feel what everybody's feeling, right? That's like me saying I could read, not saying you said you could read minds because that's not what you said, but that's like me, that's like Superman complaining about he can't make the basketball team. Nigga, you're Superman. You have a special ability no one else has. And you're telling me that you, with all the special abilities, can't special ability your way to whatever you want? See, but yet you understand totally why you're not able to get what you want. And ultimately it ends in it's someone else's fault. You can't, if you're gonna be the man, or the woman, be the woman. And part of being the woman is never, ever, ever make an excuse. Never, ever, ever blame anybody else for you not being able to get to where you want to be. And that's probably why a lot of people, have this feelings towards you, because it's a
if you
form
have
of
to move
hypocrisy.
around a lot, if you have to move for your own safety and you don't have, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to express what I've gone through. It's not about being superior over another person. Certain people, I'm sure within what with what Amir has seen a lot of spiritual things within African culture. And to be honest with you, even through his experience, it's made me feel more normalized because I've gone through the whole aspects of religious attack or of whatever it may be. So seeing within African culture that speaking with ancestors is normal. This is a part of our culture. Like even the what is it, the Zangbito, is that what it's called? Like just seeing that it's beautiful to me because I don't feel like I'm superior. I don't feel like I'm above anybody else. I feel like I'm at home actually when I see something like that because there's a oneness with nature or a oneness with spirit. I'm thinking that's how we all should be, in my opinion.
I'm thinking that the conscious community has become a safe haven for people battling mental illness. This is what I'm thinking. Not saying you, I'm just saying in general. So I think when people hear these types of things, unfortunately, they kind of have we have negative experiences with that type of stuff. And there's a certain language that kind of triggers our, you know what I'm saying, conscious or woke hustle spidey senses. And so you have to understand that that's the terrain that you're entering into, right? Like Jesus said, I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves. He was warning them like, yo, this is the type of environment you're walking into. So, I mean, everything I think can be solved with a true knowledge of your people, right? Like I know my people real well. Dynasts know our people real well. But we just decide, we know how they're going to receive what we say. But we get to the point where we're like, screw what they're going to think or say. We're going to say the truth no matter what. And that's, you know, you got to become a warrior. You know what I'm saying? Like Herschel Walker said, you got to become a warrior. And just
hey, hold on. Let me interject. You brought up Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker for Senate 2022. Y'all better go vote for Herschel Walker. All right, you better. If you're in Georgia, you better go vote for Herschel Walker. All right, go ahead.
Hey, he winning right now. Herschel Walker. I told you he was coming back.
Hey, listen. Hey, guess what? What's her name? Gloria Allred. She came out with some accusations today about another so-called abortion from.
Here we go. It's always this all they got.
Yeah. So, hey, listen. Conveniently 2 weeks before the election.
That's all they got. That's all they got. Moral credit.
Yeah. So Jane Doe, they would have released her name. Is Jane Doe.
Hey, getting an abortion is okay as long as it's only a Democrat doing it. They love abortion, but will shame you down for getting one. Don't even make sense. But yeah, man, it's just all about knowing our people. You feel me? And knowing how we react to certain things, and operating, you know, according to knowledge, as opposed to according to wishful thinking or the way we wish things were. You know, I want all you empaths and psychics and everything. I want y'all to tell us what the white man thinking so we can get an advantage on his ass. Like
I actually did. You know, I can't necessarily. I don't want to be of any influence as far as, you know, who's going to win. But I did get into the fact that Trump said that, you know, the election was going to, you know, that the election was going to be rigged if he didn't win. And that's how the narrative went. You can go on my channel. It has like 500 views. There was a time where I was making maybe getting 28K at a certain point when I'm entertaining, you know, specific artists or certain things. But if I'm talking about something serious and actually putting down, you know, my gift, and actually it's coming true and it's being broadcast, you know, then, oh, it's a mental health problem, or there's something wrong with her, or this is abnormal, or we have to make her look crazy. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying, you know, within people that don't understand it. But if I'm actually taking the derivative of my name is Sasha, right? So the name Sasha, I believe, I can't remember which specific culture it's related to, but there was a specific West African community that had the meaning that Sasha means that being present and also talking to ancestors or having that relationship with that. So I'm living in accordance to my name. You know what I mean? Like I'm living in accordance to how I came into this world. And I kind of find it strange that if we were, you know, if this was, you know, if we were in Africa or you know, back in a specific dynasty, somebody like me would have been, you know, very valued to a king, you know, or to someone, you know, within that time frame. But now it's kind of interesting because if I say that I'm having an experience or communicating with ancestors or with God or whatever it is, it's kind of like turned into this oh, everybody's trying to be woke thing. But
hey, have you ever heard of Jesus?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think anybody's like criticizing people for trying to be woke. Like, Jesus didn't just talk about it. He like delivered on the stuff. I mean, according to the stories, right? I'm not saying it's real, but like Jesus turned a few fish and fed a bunch of people. He took 2 loaves of bread and I mean, they ate and they was full. You know what I'm saying? And I think his actions validated, you know, what he was saying as far as the story goes, right? He raised somebody from the dead, healed some sick people. You feel me? So I think people are more like Black people are visual people. We want to see some shit more so than just, you know,
Dr.
believe.
Dr. Sebi healed people from disease.
But he's dead now.
I mean,
Wait, let me say this. Dr. Sebi healed people from disease, but he couldn't even get the basics right, which means adhering to the laws of the United States of America, the customs laws, when it talks about how much cash you could bring in or out of the country. You see what I'm saying? We got all these idiot savants in our community who they're so gifted at one thing, but then they drop the ball on something simple and it ends up costing them their life or costing them everything. Yeah, Dr. Sebi might have healed some sick people, but the nigga couldn't get, you can't bring more than $20,000 across the United States border at one time.
10,000.
Sorry, let me stop saying the N word. But he couldn't get the basics. You know what I'm saying? And I think that stuff needs to be adhered to. It's like a really good singer like Marvin Gaye, but he couldn't stop beating up on his parents. Like, or another singer who's famous, but he just can't put the crack pipe down. You see what I'm saying? We got all these guys who are so special, but then they end up getting caught up on a technicality that even the dumbest among us know better than to, you know, infringe upon when it comes to laws and all that stuff. So all I'm saying is we're going to go a lot further. We don't need gifted people. We need regular people who have common sense. We need people who don't think that the rules, who realize that the rules apply to them just like they apply to everybody else. We don't need no special people. We just need regular, good, solid, down home folks who you don't got to worry about going to jail or dying in police custody or running out in the street screaming, they hearing voices and stuff. We just need regular people. We have become exhausted. We are exhausted by the intellectuals, the spirit medians, the empaths, the magic, the energy workers, the all that. You know, we're at overload on that. We need some warriors in the form of farmers who could know how to use a pitchfork and till up some land and grow some tomatoes or something. We need tangibles.
Well, when I was in the process of being gang stalked by, you know, different celebrity people or whomever they wanted to use to do certain things, if you're looking for a miracle, I don't think you would ever want to basically, maybe, I don't know, I can't speak for you, but going through a situation to where if you're surrounded by alligators and they're playing, you know, some 1920s COO music to basically say run and run, and they're trying to, you know, basically surround you with alligators and things like that, and the power of a Black woman to be able to calm those animals down and allow them to go back to sleep to stay alive. I guess maybe that doesn't mean anything, but there are some special people out here. Some of us are born this way. We don't choose this, basically. Some people seek these things, but I was just born, you know, as such. So yeah, I might not be able to pick up a glass and use telekinesis to bring it, you know, towards me, but I know people that can. But I just feel that there's some people that are born into this world that are more spiritual than others, but that's where our lineage comes from as well.
This is my thing. Why do you have a bunch of physical people always trying to measure importance based on spiritual things? We're not spirits. We're humans. We're physical. Everything we enjoy is physical, right? That's why God, whoever he may be, put you on earth and didn't leave you up in the spirit realm. Physical people enjoy physical things. We enjoy making relations. We enjoy surfing. We enjoy playing sports, all that stuff. It's like when I get people who are physical beings arguing for the spiritual, I really I write those people off, because you are a physical being living a physical experience every day. And I feel like it's kind of a cop out, or just like a admission of defeat when you relegate your thinking to the spiritual things that are not certain. They are, it's all about belief, and maybe it is and maybe it's not. It's metaphysical stuff. Why don't we focus on physical things? Champion the plight of the physical man or woman before we start trying to champion the plight of the spiritual. That's in a way how we've gotten duped for centuries, putting more emphasis on the spiritual than the physical. Because when Rome was taking over Greece, when Greece was taking over Macedonia, right? All the magic workers on earth couldn't stop that. When the Russians invaded Germany, the Wiccan priests and all that couldn't cast a spell and back them up off them. When China, the Ming Dynasty, when they fell to Genghis Khan, all the Chinese magic workers couldn't stop that. The power in this world is determined by physical pursuits and physical achievements and accomplishments. So why do we keep talking about power? We're talking about power, but we're trying to talk about it in a spiritual sense. That's just straight up not real. It's not tangible. It's not something that's going to yield anything. When I see a priest or a practitioner of magic stop a war with a magic spell, that's when I'm going to believe in that. Until then, the pen, the tongue, and the sword, that's what's going to rule this planet, right? And the pen is mightier than the sword, but like Marcus Garvey said, the tongue is mightier than them both. So that's what's going to be what's going to work. Because even the spiritual dudes in the church, what church house is more full, Dynast, the guy who's the most spiritual or the guy who's the best orator?
What was the second one you said? The best orator?
The best orator, the best speaker.
Best speaker, of course.
Exactly. So we got to deal with the world as it is, not like how we wish it to as we wish it to be. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. We gotta, just basic stuff.
And just to kind of go off of what you're stating, but when a person is deceased, we're no longer considering that person a physical person anymore, correct?
No, we're not. But once
because they no longer have a spirit, correct?
Well, if you come in, like my upbringing, I was a Christian, right? So you had a lot of people who believe that the soul go to heaven when the body die, but in the Bible it says that when the body died, the soul died too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We have a lot of hypocritical, double-minded thinking when it comes to that dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because I've basically, like I said before, I've gone to a specific person's gravesite. I'm not going to say their names or anything like that. They're pretty famous or whatever. They've passed, but they've been able to like literally throw money at me from their grave, like physically. So for me, spirit is still very powerful because it's kind of like the Zangbito thing. You might not think it's, it means anything, but it amazes me that people or individuals, our ancestors from the spirit realm, can manifest turtles and, different things from out of nothing. I mean, it's kind of like the word of God, right? First, there was the word before anything was physical, if those are the beliefs that you have. But I'm sure if we're looking at, Pan-Africanism and culture, it always has some sort of significance with spirit. So.
I mean, what I know is Marcus Garvey them is all dead, and we can use the things that they did tangibly as inspiration to carry it forward. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you die, the way to live forever is to live in the memory of people. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're really going to live forever. So I want to keep them, in our memory, and we can use their accomplishments and the things they said as motivation to do something, right? That's really the only way a person could live forever. You know what I'm saying? Like all the rest of that, they're going to do something from beyond the grave. If they're going to do something from beyond the grave, get rid of these white folks then from beyond the grave and give us what we want. Until that happens, I'm not putting my hope in any spiritual anything, because if it was really out there, they would have took us from the bottom back to the top by now. So I'm just all going off of the reality. If I was a spirit, you know what I'm saying, and I was dead and I was looking down on my people, I'd be down here like the angel that came and saved the Israelites from the invasion of the Assyrians under King Hezekiah. You know what I'm saying? I kill 140,000 in one night. You know what I'm saying? But that's not happening. So we gonna have to sharpen our swords, reinforce our shields, and get it cracking in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Missy Barr. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Missy Barr.
I gotta go, Dynas. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem, brother.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, brother Amir, sister. How are you? And everyone on the platform.
Good.
Yeah. So, I just want to pick it back, go back a little bit from what you guys were saying. I don't know what it's going to take for us as Black people at this point, especially Black women, to work together, right? There is a lot of, do you want to say mental issue? What do you want to say? At this state, our situation is dire, right? I remember a couple of years ago, several times, whenever they were doing the gay parade, the people that always lead the charge are Black women. And I don't think they understand the impact of what is to come, that you are ceding your own power, right? It is always, and whenever they want to do something in this country that is diabolical, they will say they need Black people to be involved first. So we have to start thinking about, whenever we sign up to do something, whether you're signing up for feminism, how is that affecting your own family, the Black people, right? Whether they're now signing up, to join the gay community, which, let everybody do whatever they want to do. Here now, we have, I think a couple of days, I don't know if any of you see, there is an incident, I think it's out of Los Angeles, where they say they're having a day where they change clothes and they have all Black boys wearing dresses. These are all Black boys wearing dresses, and then they took a picture of it. I have yet to see that where they do that in the white community, where they have them. Why is it that they always take the power of Black parents? And it is because there is no cohesion in the house. Just because you are not with the father doesn't mean you cannot still be co-parenting, which means if something is happening in school, go with your child's father or your ex-husband. Why is it that it's okay for these people to do this, to put all those, and then you gotta ask the questions. What is wrong with these children? Are you telling me that none of you are old enough to say no? So you kept seeing the things that's happening to the Black community. And it's gonna have to take a point where Black women will have to shield. They're gonna have to shed this idea of, I'm in common. I have something in common with all women. You're gonna have to say, I have something in common with Black women and Black men, and that is your most number one priority. Everybody else needs to do for themselves. The things that is happening to our children, I don't see it happening in other group, right? So how many times this week that the Black child have been boiled with hot water, right? Beating, call a nigger, all this other stuff. Why is it that everybody else feels it's okay to lay hands on Black children? It's because we don't have this cohesive. And until we do, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's just, for those of us that that came here, that are immigrants, if you think that this is happening to Black Americans, it's not going to touch you, it's a lie. It is a lie. I was having a conversation with a sister of mine today. She's not my biological sister, but she's from Nigeria. And she was telling me a story how she took her daughter to a doctor to go and get her yearly checkup done. When they got there, this is a black doctor telling the black parent to leave the room. And when she left the room, she said she didn't want to go. But when she left the room, now the black doctor, a female doctor, now proceed to tell the girl that the girl can do whatever she wants. She didn't need to get permission from her parent anymore. This is our black doctor doing this. So while we are out here promoting black doctors, now start looking at what some of these doctors are doing. So the young girl now tells the doctor and says, "Oh, so I want to get a nose ring." Right? The doctor told her, "Go ahead and do whatever you want. You don't need your mother's permission." But she lives in the house, right? Her mom and her dad, this is a girl that comes from two-parent household. And you have a black doctor outside of the house telling the girl that she can do whatever she wants. She proceeded to give the girl her phone number, her Gmail, her email account, that the girl can contact her privately. You understand what is going on out here? There is a lot of diabolical things that we need to take care of. And I don't know how we're going to do it. It may take one-on-one, two-to-two, all of us to start communicating. We're going to have to share this nonsense. For example, we have a lot of black people, black women who are retired teachers. They need to come back where they start teaching black children. We need to take them out of the schools. We need to start, I don't know how we're going to do it, but something else needs to happen. When you can see a doctor telling a daughter to go against her mother, that is some serious stuff right there. So as far as the spiritual part is concerned, black people, we are more than meet the eye, and that's how they keep killing some of these leaders. We need to do better. I don't know what it's going to take. Brother Amir, Sister Queen Prodigy, keep doing what you're doing. It's going to get better. We have no choice. It's either we do it right or we die trying. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you, sis.
Right.
You're welcome. Guys, links in the chat room, We'll take a couple more callers, then we'll close out. Again, we'll take a couple more callers, then we'll close out. But links in the chat room, and you can call in and add to the conversation. Okay, since you are you can see a psychic, right? You can see into the future, right? Right.
Let's go.
Okay, what do you foresee this country in the next 2 years?
I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of Sekhmet energy happening out here. So when I speak of Sekhmet energy, this has a situation to where we're going to, if certain people or individuals as a collective, humanity does not figure out how to be cohesive with the environment, we're going to see more diseases. We are going to see certain things shifting more so towards the West. So right now, everything is like, we're paying attention to Eastern Europe and everything else like that, but it's going to start to creep up towards California. I'm going to be honest with you, and spread from there. I'm not trying to just leave it in a negative space or anything like that. I just feel that we have to get into this space of alignment when it comes down to the laws of nature. The laws of nature apply to everyone. It's not just one race or anything like that. But as Black people, we have been the ones that have been here the longest on this planet. And we have to take some accountability instead of passing our responsibilities off or allowing ourselves to continuously be disadvantaged. The reason why there's this level of helplessness or feeling like, oh, what are we going to do, is because we've been set back maybe about 400 years or so. But we taught certain people within societies to be able to take care of themselves and groom themselves and create castles and civilizations. Even the medieval times, at the time, we were teaching them how to be civilized as human beings, and now they've turned it against us. So the question is, the premise of it is, it's about when are we going to start to say that we need to take control of the way that we eat? When are we going to say that we need to take control over the radiation in the air? and stop acting like it doesn't affect us. These are the things that we need to probably take some sort of I can actually do I foresee certain Powerball numbers. Funny enough, I have a method. So it's not to say that basically that you're not supposed to use logic at all. Wisdom takes some awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to use our brains to some extent when we're applying wisdom. So, I think that it's very critical when we have taken a look at how we were acting with COVID and how Earth was being able to heal itself while we were on lockdown. While the humans were being, stuck in their homes, but the waters were getting bluer, the animals were coming out more, the nature, it was healing itself. Why is it that we can't take those moments to stop being consumerists in order to be in a position of allowing healing to delegate? So until, I believe Gassed Up said earlier, we have to take it to an individual basis in order to make effective change. But if we're constantly buying into the aliens are already here, you are the alien. I just want to put that out there. You are the alien. You've been transported from another galaxy to this earth in order to do your purpose. That could be for good or for evil. It depends on you.
There we go. All right. So people who took the COVID shot, who got the jab, how do you think they're going to end up in like the next 5 years? People who got the jab.
Here's the thing. I do believe that biologically there are people that can basically, they have the power to be in a position of overcoming anything that puts out into a negative connotation, whatever you think will be. So if you think that you're getting the jab and it's something bad and it's going to affect you, that's what it's going to do. I feel like it's a mega manifester. I feel like it's kind of like a nanochip, if that makes sense to some extent. Whatever you plug into it or program it to become is how it will affect you. Let's just say that if we're talking about, like I said, I keep on, if I'm seeing how this jab is going to affect people or whatever it is, and I'm thinking from a general consensus of how the government may hope that it affects people, I feel that it's kind of like, I don't know why I keep seeing like sickle cell. Like, you know how sickle cell anemia like kind of breaks you down, if that makes sense. And it kind of paralyzes you. That's like, I kind of feel like as we continue to level up into 6G and beyond, and we kind of supercharge our reality and we don't have any essence of natural silence in nature, with these different things occurring, of course it's going to create probably faster deterioration for certain individuals.
Okay. Listen, we'll put the link in the chat room. If you want to call in, you can call in. If not, we'll go ahead and close out. Again, link is in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link and you are more than welcome to call in. Queen Prodigy, anything else you'd like to share in closing?
What are your views on Zangbito, please? Because I'm kind of, because you've seen a lot of spiritual things on your journey while going through Africa. So what is your belief, or what do you think as far as like spirituality is concerned and what you've experienced while traveling throughout Africa?
Well, Zambito, they're called the Guardians of the Night. So they served as like a police force for one of the kings. I forgot the name of the king back in Porto Novo, in Benin Republic. And I like when Zambito comes, I've never seen anybody in it. So some spirit is what keeps it moving. So unless someone could prove otherwise. Now I've seen a little fake Zambito on the internet when you can see the person's on the bottom running around. But
No,
for the most
you've done
part,
it very clear. You've made it
well,
very obvious.
me personally, yeah. I mean, I've never seen a Zambito with anybody in it, like unless somebody could prove otherwise. But it's a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So
And so I'll say this much, because a lot of, like I said, I've dealt with a lot of scrutiny. Um, certain people, like I said, saying I'm fake, saying I'm this, I'm that, but I know that spirit is real. Like I said before, my family is Christian. That's always going to be somewhat of the pillar for me. And I've also done, research and even talking about Jesus and finding his true ethnicity and his true being, or even looking at Nag Hammadi text, or seeing that Mary actually was able to communicate with those that have passed on. I think the more that we fast, or the more that we become more in tune with nature and kind of have a more water fast diet, we're able to unlock ourselves and be able to see certain things that a lot of people aren't able to access, too. And I think that seems to be the premise. So it's not about anybody being more superior over another. It's about being able to have the knowledge to unlock our hidden DNA. Our DNA is so strong and so powerful that there are spiritual forces that will come to protect us. Even if we can't, solve the world's problems just like that, we can at least do everything that we can to have the wisdom to save our children from danger, from human trafficking, or from, certain situations that are plaguing our society. It gives us the strength to be able to push forward. So Zangbito is a police force. Does Zangbito like literally go down the street and like stop crime in a sense, I guess? If
well, they're not. It's not active from what I've seen, like it was back in the back in the day. There's an actual police force now. But as far as the Zambito, I think it's more just for spirituality and entertainment purposes. But I don't think is actually active as far as serving as a police force present day.
and if we were to try to use that within the present day, I'm just kind of curious if we try to use Zambito or ancestors to handling our business. I mean, were there any aspects of looking into, um or from what you've been able to see with like voodoo, like that word is spirit, so certain people say that even in certain cultures like the Benin culture, that it does work, or these things do, have an effect on them receiving justice in their own way, you know
What was your question? That did you make it a statement
Well,
or?
I guess I'm just kind of curious as to what you've been able to, see, because you've been around, like I said, certain different, and it's not just, it's primarily West Africa, but certain spiritual things, have you been able to see certain things manifest before your eyes after speaking with, with a king, or speaking with a witch doctor, or speaking with whomever?
I have, and it's more personal, so I would say that. But I would invite anyone and everyone, to come to Benin and experience it firsthand.
Yeah, I've only been to Morocco, even though it's beautiful. I've been to Morocco and I've been to Gibraltar, but I've definitely wanted to definitely take a trip to West Africa. And maybe that's something that you can kind of encourage us to do, or do like a tour guide. That would be
I
phenomenal,
do,
because
I do,
I'd
I
pay for
do,
that.
I do tours. Hold on, you didn't know? How long have you been on the channel? Subscribe.
Well, I haven't been on that long, to be honest with you. I literally found your Zambito video and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Somebody's actually, looking into this. So I'm fairly new to your channel. So yeah.
Listen, so I'm scheduled to take a group to the Voodoo Festival in January. So if you guys hold on, let me we'll pull up the site real quick. Give me a second. Um, So that you know, this is the travel site. Danfo.africa, DANFO.africa. That's the travel site.
That's beautiful.
So then when you click on travel, you'll see the let's see here. You'll see the locations and then the itinerary for next year.
Nice. Well, thank you for giving, or creating this platform and putting so much investment into allowing individuals like myself to take advantage of something like this, because I've always wanted to do different things like this and experience different parts of Africa. And now that you are, doing the documentary and you've already done the documentary, I'm definitely going to hop off of here and support that. So I have that website up ready to go. And this is basically going to be the next, also the next step after that, because I like looking at these different group tours and, just like I said, just experiencing different different aspects of understanding who we are as a people, because the common disconnect, living in America, is just trying to figure out, where do you fit in? You know what I mean? Or who am I? Or why am I this way? If that makes sense. Or even looking at, just things like talking about Queen Nanny and everything like that. That is empowering to me, because I can relate to her. I can relate to these, specific people that are that are spiritual, that have culture, so yeah. I don't know if anybody else is going to come on in here, but
yeah, we'll take a couple more callers. So we'll take one more caller.
Cool.
So I'll give it a minute or so. Links in the chat room if you want to call in. Click on the link, and you're more than welcome to call in. But guys, go to Danfo.africa, and then you'll see the locations where we're traveling to, and also the itineraries and the dates. So yeah, hit me up. All right. Well, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. Queen Prodigy, anything else you'd like to share in closing?
no, thank you. I've been kind of hanging around, I guess, but thank you for the opportunity and allowing us to have this discussion. Please do this more often, and in order for our community to continue to engage.
We go live every day. So.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't. Maybe it's the notifications, but I just literally have been able to just recently join just now. But this is really good. I think this is a good start.
I mean, I appreciate it. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, Search for Uhuru. Peace.